This is the MLW Radio Network. This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in Mind of the Meanie. I am your tour guide, Adam Barnard, with a very stuffy nose, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind, brother?
Holla.
Is there anything that's happening in the news right now?
Nah. I was just, we were just the show before the show here with our folks at patreon.com/meanie talking about some of the best fried chicken I ever had, which is Big Rube, Chef Big Rube. I'm longing for his chicken. So he's usually in town on Wednesdays, and inside baseball, we're recording Friday. But I can't complain. Miss Meanie's cooking that pot roast downstairs. It was going to be awesome. So,
yeah,
go on Instagram, follow him, Chef Big Rube.
I'm going to do that right now. I need some of this in my life. Yeah, let me pull it up right now while we're on the air. Shout out to the Pod Squad who's joining us here today. Chef Big Rube, here he is. Is this the dude?
Yeah.
All right, that's a follow right there. That's an easy follow.
Such a lovable guy. He's always on the radio here in Philly. He's on WIP morning shows. He's like, holla. And that's how he starts all his phone is when they bring him on the air. And I've been meaning to try his chicken forever. And he's at another place around the corner from me. And I never got to go there. And then once he moved to this other place, I said I am going. So
yep.
Not to start our people's mornings off. I know this drops Monday morning. You get people hankering for some really good fried chicken that they probably, unless you're in Philly, can't get.
Well, hey,
that's where my mind is.
It'll be Memorial Day weekend, so it'll work. So they can maybe drive out here to Philadelphia to come and get it. But shout out to the Pod Squad again. We have a bunch of folks here. Don't forget, like Meanie said, patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Join us early, ad-free, watch us with our beautiful bearded faces every week. Also, I just want to thank everybody in the Pod Squad, Blue Meanie, Josh Chernoff, everybody who's reached out to us with everything going on here. Like we mentioned last week, my family is currently working through our COVID-19 diagnosis. As you can still hear my voice, I am still working to get through it. So I am not like a raspy Barry White. So I almost had to pull in a Josh Chernoff card and see if I could have had Sam Krebs guest hosted for you last week. Because it was bad. I was like, fuck, dude, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I had no energy. Like, that's the one thing that's really and I don't mean to hijack the show right off the bat, but it's
no.
It's one of those things where it's like, I didn't expect the fatigue to be so bad. Yeah. The cough is I can get a cough drop, cough medicine, whatever, the stuffy nose, just get a tissue and it's fine. But the fatigue, brother, that shit was brutal, and it still is. Walking up and down the stairs a couple times a day is like, holy shit, this is brutal. I was not a happy camper, and Courtney, my wife, has been in the same boat, and it's been really tough. But the good news is with the baby, Audrey is doing much, much better. She has just a little cough right now, but she is doing much better at this point. And
how is she walking up the steps?
The baby, she walks up like the Exorcist, actually. Yeah, she does the whole head spinning and the vomiting. It's kind of, I got to call a doctor about that and probably a priest. But, no, she's doing well, man. She's a great little kid. She's real tough and everybody's good. Speaking of tough, hashtag Sorensen Level has joined us as well. So,
what up, dude?
What up, man? He's rocking a Foundation Radio t-shirt today. Don't forget, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio. Pick up your shirt today for Foundation Radio. Support the show. And also, ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie and support the show. I don't even know where to start today, man. There's been a lot of shit going on in the news. A lot of really bad shit since the last time we recorded. I think 2 mass shootings. And, man, I really try hard not to really get into stuff and talk about downers. But, it feels like everything's a downer right now, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just, it's hard to want to have a conversation when, you can go down a rabbit hole of, what side are you on? And it sucks that it has to be that way. But, there's folks without loved ones, and, my heart aches for them, something so senseless, so senseless, so sudden, and, very cruel, but the only thing we can really do is, try to figure out how to stop this stuff, and like I said, you can't have a meaningful conversation without somebody getting offended and, making you, you thought wrestling tribalism was bad between WWE and AEW fans. There's this whole other world. It's just like, dude, can we just fucking have a year? Give me a year without a tragedy, I mean, give me a day, give me a week, give me a month. Let's build up to a year where there's, good news, where the news is boring,
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. So, I try not to get political because it's no win situation, but, something's got to happen. Something's got to happen,
It's hard to it's hard to navigate and not talk about it, because even though we're not like a political show, we don't do that stuff on here. We don't talk politics. We don't talk religion. But it's definitely hard not to at least acknowledge the elephant in the room. The two big elephants, right? Like we had Buffalo.
Yeah, dude, I'm sitting right here.
The elephant and the 400-pound gorilla here, sir. But no, we had, there was the mass shooting, the racially motivated mass shooting in Buffalo, New York. And then there was the shooting in the elementary school. Just saying that out loud, man. Another shooting, right? What fucks me up the most, and I think we could kind of talk about this a little bit and then we'll move on. But what fucks me up the most is the fact that we're talking about an elementary school.
Yeah.
Again. 10 years ago, this happened in Newtown, Connecticut. And everybody was like, this isn't going to happen again. It's not going to happen again. It's not going to happen again. And then it fucking does. In another elementary school with little kids, man. I'm doing my best to keep it together right now. I have little kids that I get onto the bus every single day. Both of my boys get onto the bus every day. I drove them to school the other day on Wednesday morning, and I didn't want to let them out of the car. And it's tragic. It's the brutality of it is really what fucks me up the most. Yeah. And, it's hard. It really is hard to have conversations with people without going into these wild, fanatical changes. And it's just let's just protect the fucking kids. Let's protect the kids in the elementary schools, and then we can worry about everything else later.
That should be something we should all just be on the same page.
Right.
Those kids don't have any affiliation. They were just going there just to try to better their lives,
Right.
So, yeah.
It's just, it's fucking brutal. And we lost Ray Liotta this week as well, which was shocking. Very shocking, to say the least.
Okay. Because he was getting up there, but he still looked all right.
67 years old, man.
He was filming a movie. I forget where. It was down South America or something like that. And, dude, talk about an icon, Goodfellas and what's the baseball movie?
Field of Dreams. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say The Natural too, but that was Michael Madsen, which is another excellent movie, excellent baseball movie. But Ray Liotta, man, he was still, churning them out. I'm sure he's getting fed off that Chantix money, But and a little bit of a dreamboat, you know,
a little bit. Yeah,
I'm not insecure enough to say, he had some eyes.
Yeah, hey, looking good looking guy. Can't deny that. Good looking guy.
Yeah, good looking fella.
But yeah, I mean, and he died in his sleep too.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna die, that's probably the best way to go.
Yeah, dude.
It's just those sudden wheat field deaths. Just airplane crashes and stuff like that. They kind of suck. But if you're gonna go, Betty by.
Yeah.
But not to get morbid. But,
This is a very morbid beginning of Mind of the Meanie, man.
Oh my God. Mine and the morbid meanie. Usually when people say morbid around me, it's usually about obesity, but it's just.
You and me both, brother.
Yeah. Listen here, pal.
Oh, pal. God damn. What is.
Well, dude. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, well, hey, yeah, I was talking last week. We were talking about give another podcast a little bit of love. This podcast called Dudesey with Will Sasso and Brett Colchin. I think I said his name right. It's a podcast that's based off the gimmick. It's a podcast based off of the first ever podcast run totally by an AI. And the gimmick is they've turned over all their information, computer logins, phone information, all that, blah, blah, blah. And then this AI gives them topics to talk about and all this stuff. And it's a funny concept. But Will Sasso, who's like a huge wrestling fan, brings up a lot of wrestling. Like he'll bring up he'll bring up the Blackpool Combat Club out of nowhere. And stuff like that. But most recently, the thing that had me dying and wanting to show the podcast a little bit of love, he the AI wink had gave Will an assignment where he had to read his childhood diaries like Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it was fucking amazing, right?
That's funny.
So he's doing it, and there's this thing he said he did it in his diaries, wink wink, that he did as a kid. It was called piss and shit blaming, where he would piss on something or shit on something and make somebody else take the blame for it. Piss blaming or shit blaming. And he coined a phrase that is going to be in my lexicon for the rest of my life. And he was talking about how in high school he went to Principal Squeeze parking spot and left a corn-laced double pusher, which almost sent me into I laughed so hard I saw white. I laughed so hard I saw my grandparents, and they've been dead for 20 years, Hey, Ma. Hey, Grandma. Hey, Nan. Hey, Pop. But, yeah, man. It's a great podcast. If you can hop on board now, they got a YouTube. They're on everything, but, they're on YouTube. Dude, the YouTube show's way better.
I'm sure.
You can but, Dudesey. To definitely check that out. But, a corn-laced double pusher.
Oh, my God.
In Steve Austin's voice, just fucking sent me over the fucking edge. It was fucking great.
Vanessa in the pod squad was just saying that he sounds just like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and honestly, he really does. He really does.
He does an awesome Macho Man Randy Savage too.
Does he really?
And a Hulk Hogan.
Oh, jeez.
They had to do a thing where, you had to bring in something from your childhood, and week before, his co-host brought in was it Magic the Gathering cards or something like that. So this week Will had to bring in his, and he brought in all his LJN figures.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. But the thing that fucking blew my mind, and he had this, and I was like, ooh, I might have to look this up. Remember the thumb wrestlers, the WWF thumb wrestlers?
Yes.
It was like in the 80s. It was like Junkyard Dog, Iron Sheik, Hulk Hogan, and a bunch of others. You put it on your thumb, and it would be shaped like this, with the fist, and you thumb wrestle with somebody. Somebody took the Hulk Hogan thumb wrestler and painted it up in NWO black and white, and and he keeps it in one of those like plastic cases, like you put like a souvenir, like a baseball in it.
Yeah.
Just to keep dust off it. And it's probably one of the coolest things. I was like, man, that's kind of fucking cool.
Yeah. So. That's funny, man. I remember being a kid when Hogan turned, and we had this, was a WCW. It was like one of them, like rubber Johns, like one of those rubber wrestlers of Hogan. And he was in, the WCW red and yellow. And I remember when he turned, I took a black Sharpie and I fucking, because I was probably like 9 at when the time he turned. Let me think about it. It was 1996, right?
Make me feel old, pal.
96 was when Hogan turned. Was that Bash at the Beach? I think. So I probably still have my toys, and I was fucking coloring in black all over him. As I was like, he's never going to go back to this, right? Like once you're a bad guy, like I thought in my brain, I'm like, once you're a bad guy, you're a bad guy for life. And Hogan killed
for life.
For life. But he fucking turned his back on everybody, and I was like, nope, I'm a bad guy now too.
I was one of those fans that was slowly on the decline with Hogan, like when he was in WWF.
Yeah,
like there's a period of time where like say your prayers, eat your vitamins,
eat your prayers, say your vitamins.
Yeah, it was getting a little. What the joke is, the vitamins, are they oral or injectable? But not that anything's wrong with that, by the way. I don't care.
He just didn't inhale. That's all.
Right. But yeah, dude, like I remember the crowd started kind of turning on Hulk. I went to a Spectrum shirt and I had the my old Hulk Rules shirt. I went to my local airbrush artist and had Rules crossed out and airbrush sucks underneath it. To the wrestling because I thought I was like the cool kid, but
I'm not sure if I ever got that away from Hogan as a face. Like I didn't understand at the time like why he jumped to WCW. I was like, why is Hogan not wrestling for WWF anymore? It doesn't make any sense, But I always thought the stuff that they did in WCW was kind of like hokey and lame. Even as a kid, I was like, this is kind of silly. Like the big bat, or was it the Booty Man? Was that Beefcake's
Big Bad Booty?
No. That's wasn't Big Bad Booty Daddy. That was Scott Steiner, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
I think it was the Booty Man and the Zodiac and the Shark. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like this is, meanwhile then I'm flipping back over to watch Doink the Clown wrestle Jerry the King Lawler,
And then ECW was born.
Yes, and then that changed my entire... I'm telling you, man, I used to go... I mentioned this before on the show, but I used to go to my grandmother's house down there on 17th Avenue in Prospect Park, right along the train tracks there that split Prospect Park and Springfield. It was the only place we could get ECW. And me and my brothers, we would beg my dad an entire summer to go down and stay at my grandparents' house on the weekend, on Friday and Saturday. Keep in mind, driving from Bucks County down to fucking Delco, we'd stay up and watch ECW on the fucking television, whatever channel it was on. I don't even remember. But we would fucking find it, and it was like that. It was almost like Access TV. You know what I mean? Like when you're in high school watching it, man. Man, I thought we were fucking bad as hell.
What year was this?
Ooh. Was it 97 or 98? Maybe it was 98. Was it 98? Maybe.
Yeah, it might have been. It might, because it started off on Sports Channel Philadelphia, which used to be Prism in Philly.
Yes, I remember Prism.
And then it hopped over to WGTW Channel 48.
That's the one. WGTW. Yeah, because I remember the logo would come up and it would it was like creepy as shit. You ever sitting in the middle of the night and it's the fucking weirdest noises, or just the music that just loops like a horror movie, and then it would go black and then boom, that ECW shit would hit, man. That was so dope. And I try to explain this to people, like even my wife, like, because she doesn't quite understand like all the ECW stuff and like why it's like, not that she doesn't understand, but like I think she missed that time in the world, in wrestling world, why it was so big. And I was like, you had to be there. Like there was nothing like watching, the BWO, or there was nothing like watching Taz do a suplex and him and Bam Bam going through the ring, or New Jack with his music. Like that was the shit. That was the shit, man. And like as a adolescent kid, you're just like, oh my God, fuck the establishment. This is fucking great, But Hogan, man, was that turn was catastrophic in our house. I mean, it was my brother Matt. I'm sure my brother Matt's listening to this, and he'll tweet at you. I'm sure. And he'll be like, my brother Matt was the biggest Hulkamaniac in the history of the world, and Hogan turning was like a mourning event in our house, man. Vanessa,
but it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. Oh my God, hindsight for sure. Vanessa said that she had it on their Spanish channel. The tower was 5 miles as the crow flies away. Andrew Bailey says, my mom thought I was trying to watch scrambled porn, but it was an ECW pay-per-view. I identify with that so much, dude.
Yeah, I mean, finding ECW like it should have been like an Olympic event, because I know people are like, man, you had to, dude. When I moved out to Al's to train for a year, like I found it on a random channel, like with snow coming in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. I was like, how am I watching ECW all the way out here?
Jeez.
You know, it was crazy.
That's wild, man.
But yeah, I know there's so many tales of people who would just randomly find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, we used to have a hot box too. Did you have a hot box at your place? A hot cable box? You remember them?
No.
Well, I did.
Yeah. The best was Pat McAfee telling Vince that he had an illegal cable box to watch pay-per-views.
Dude, that dude just straight up doesn't give a fuck, man. I love it.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, my cousin had a hot box. Sorry about that. I think I owe you like $80.
So good, man.
Vince McMahon. It's just great.
We used to have, I forget how, I never asked any questions, but my mother got a hot box, one of them like giant black cable boxes. And what you would do is if you wanted to watch a movie or you wanted to watch the pay-per-view, because in the beginning when you would order the WWF pay-per-view, they would have the pre-show, and then it will go fuzzy.
Free-for-all. Yeah.
Yeah, like the free-for-all. And then it would go fuzzy after a certain point, and we would just unscrew the cable in the back, pop it out, but not pull it all the way out, and then pop it back in. And when we did that, it unlocked what we were trying to watch. And
that's
chef's kiss, man. And we got fucking everything. Everything. Even the dirty channels.
Channel 78 and 79.
That's right.
78. Spice and Playboy.
That's right. Spice TV and Playboy TV. Yeah. That's right. And you just flip back and forth for the good shit, man. Dag.
Yeah, if you didn't have the box, you would have to sit there and hit the AB button on the remote control. Because if you didn't do that, you get the community channel. Yeah. At least in South, you get the community channel with the today's weather, and like now I want today's titties. And AB.
Yeah. It's like the Konami code. Up, down, left, right, B, A, B, A.
Oh, I got fucking Nintendo thumb.
Everything's fine. No, I'm good, man. Everything's good here. Now, what were some other good channels in Philly TV, man? Well, there was Prism, which was fucking fantastic.
Prism's legendary channel.
What other ones that were so good, man? I remember just being always freaked out at my grandmother's house in Croydon in Bucks County. She had this like one-story house, and everything was always dark. And the guy who did the voiceovers for 6ABC at like 11 o'clock when he would do like, it was like the, here's a look at our next news. That used to, like, even just saying that freaks like a cold chill down my back, man. Because I'd be like, fuck, here comes somebody to stab me in the face right now,
Well, here's the channel 48 that ECW was on. Well, back in the 80s, there was a different channel 48 that had been on the air and went off, and then I guess people confused both channel 48s, but that channel 48, growing up when I was a kid, Saturday mornings was pro wrestling and kung fu theater, and then Saturday nights they would have son of Svengoolie, who's still around amazingly, and the big thing they had a broadcast of Creature from the Black Lagoon. And if you went to the local 7-Eleven, you get the 3D glasses and watch it on TV.
Nice.
So, that was like the early 80s and stuff like that. That was the cool channel. And then eventually, like 84, 85, they went off the air. But you'd watch like BJ and the Bear, you watch cartoon, you watch Three Stooges. But every Saturday, religiously, watch wrestling on channel 48, and then like an hour later, wrestling on channel 17. Yeah. Or no, channel 29, and it was 48, 29, and then eventually on 17 we got NWA, which was awesome.
I remember, what was it? I'm old enough. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're not old enough to remember this and that." Like, I remember when TV used to go like black at the end of the day, like at midnight, like Nickelodeon. They would play the anthem, and then they would go off the air. It would be static, or it would be black. Like, I remember Nickelodeon at a certain point. They would play, because I remember this, because me and my buddies used to try to stay up and see how long everybody could stay up, and then we would watch them old school George Reeves Superman episodes in black and white from like the 40s or the 50s, and then it would shut off, and they would do the anthem, and then it would go either static or black, and I would like, damn, I didn't know that, or it would play some kind of just like we'll see you again at 5 o'clock, and it wouldn't be there. Muzak, yeah. What channel was were the Flyers on? Do you remember?
They bounced around. They used to be on Channel 17.
That's it.
And they were on 48 for a little bit. Because if you go on YouTube, you can find the old promos for Channel. I love that channel so much. I have a T-shirt for it on my pro wrestling tees. Like the Flyers were on there, the Phillies were on there, and then eventually the Phillies hopped over to Channel 29.
That's right.
Flyers hopped over to Channel 17. The Great Entertainer, if you're from the Philly area. That was their big motto in the 80s. And then, when I was a kid on Channel 17, every afternoon, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they had a show called Dancing on Air.
Really?
Which it was a local teen dance show. It's like our version of Bandstand. And then they would do like a syndicated version called Dance Party USA, which would air on USA Network. So they started doing this like thing where like we're going to play the latest hot video from so-and-so. And in between, they would show the dancers dancing and stuff like that. I got so hot, I wrote a letter. I like a piece of paper, pen and paper, and wrote to them. I was like, hey, if you're going to play the videos, please let the video play all the way through. I like watching people dancing, but I also like and they read it on the air.
No shit.
This is like 84, 85. And I'm sitting there watching one day, and I see this piece of paper, and it's got the worst, I had the worst handwriting. There's probably like white out all over the goddamn thing. But they read it on the air, and they took a poll, and everybody agreed with me. I was like, dude, like, this is like before, my family had a VCR, and I was recording everything. Dude, I wish I could have got that on tape, because it was like the damnedest thing,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna write this letter. They're not gonna, thinking about it now. If I did that now, you think about they ain't gonna read it. They'll just like look at my handwriting and throw it in the trash. No, they read it. Insane.
That's crazy, man.
But Dancing on Air was like the local bandstand, and a lot of bands got to got on there before they exploded. Like Bon Jovi was on there. They had Madonna on there. And like all before they exploded, which is kind of cool. They had Meduno on there and stuff like that. But it's pretty cool. If you go on YouTube and look up Dancing on Air, you see what's her name? Young Kelly Ripa was on there too, because she's from Cherry Hill. Yeah, Kelly Ripa.
Right. She is from our area, isn't she?
Yeah, she was a regular in that show. I mean, she downplays it now. She's big now, but.
Yeah, she's friends with Howard Stern now. She can't be big time in. She's big time in everybody.
Yeah, but yeah, you could find those clips on YouTube too.
Do you remember the box?
Yes, the video music videos.
Yeah.
You know how much money I wasted just to see me push a button on the TV?
Yes.
How much were the videos about? Would you say?
How much were the videos?
How much was it called? How much did it cost to call in and record video?
I think if I remember correctly, it was like $1.99 or like $2.99. And then if you wanted to bump your video choice to the very front of the line, so it would play like next, it was like an extra $2 or $3, I think.
Dude,
I can't remember, man. Fuck, man. I remember being so hyped about that, because that was like, oh man, Methods of Mayhem's new video's coming out. I got to fucking request to watch this, and I'm looking at
it. You see a lot, that's where I was always into hip hop.
Right.
Grew up on BET and stuff like that. But some of the newer, rap artists, it turned me on to a lot of good rap.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
It was 99 cents and $2.99, depending on what video you picked.
Right.
And they had a lot of good stuff. Oh man, they have a fucking this thrillist.com. I'll have to send you this link, because they have like screen grabs of the box. Man, dude. Wow. I forgot about this for a minute. But it was at the time when they were still like kind of going like MTV style. Because MTV still played music videos all the time. They had like they had a handful of the reality shows, but it wasn't nearly as vociferous as it is now.
Real World,
Road Rules, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, The Miz.
Yeah, I missed that era. I wasn't. I was a huge Real World fan up until maybe Hawaii. San Francisco, I was on board solid until San Francisco, and then that might have been the time I went away to train. So when I was training, because I remember, I think I was talking to Al's kids about, Puck or something like that. That was San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, oh, Puck's such a gimmick. And then, and then maybe Hawaii. I think that's where I kind of like half watched, and then I was out. Oh, I came back when they did, Philly.
Yeah, you had to watch that. Where was the Philly house at?
Dude, it was an old bank, like right in Center City, around third. I can't think it. It's third and something.
I'm going to the Google. Going to the Google.
Oh, they picked the wrong fucking town to.
Dude, they sure did. They absolutely sure did.
Because somebody stooged it off. You know, the Real World of Philly. So like these kids got fucking harassed.
Cuz.
Not harassed, but they got their balls busted. Cuz, put me on MTV.
It was at 249, 251 Arch Street at Third Street in Old City, Philadelphia. It was okay. It's a bank, I think now. Again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bank. It was let me see. It's adjacent to the Betsy Ross House, the Union Bank of Philadelphia building until 1970, and now it was that house, and now it serves as it's an art gallery. I'm sorry, and an office for Linode, and Linode is a cloud hosting private server company. So that's interesting. But
cuz you got Martha Quinn in there. Cuz.
Cuz.
Where's Adam Curry?
Give me a hoagie, salt and vinegar chips, and I want to get a bottle of iced tea.
That's a pretty good Delco accent.
Cuz.
Cuz.
You got them cream and sugars, cuz?
What was that? What was that show? They just had some Mayor of something.
Oh yeah, Mayor of Westtown, I think is what it is, right?
Yeah, they nailed that Delco accent. Man. That was a really good show.
I'm gonna. Go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead. I cut you off.
No, I was just saying how it's amazing. Who was the lead actress? From she was from Titanic.
Oh, it's Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet doing a Delco accent is fucking mind blowing, and more credit to her because that's such a hard accent to do. On top of remembering your lines, on top of emoting emotion, and doing a Delco accent, like whatchamacallit, she's from Saturday Night Live.
Kate McKinnon.
Mean Girls. No. Created Mean Girls.
Oh, Tina Fey.
Tina Fey, she's from this area. She's from like Delco and stuff like that. So she does a mean Delco accent. So if you're not familiar with the Delco accent, either watch Mayor of Easttown or whatever it's called, or look up Tina Fey doing a Delco accent.
There's this great video that I share every Thanksgiving. It's from a group of guys called No Channel Found. They're friends with my buddy Angel, and they have this guy who does like a Thanksgiving like in Philadelphia, and he eats like Percocet and like crackers with fake cheese like from Philly. Listen to this fucking guy's accent. Listen to this shit.
Yeah, okay.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Chris. This is kind of a video to say what I'm thankful for this holiday season.
Do you hear the thankful for in the holiday season? Dude, so good, man. I'll have to post that. I'll send it to you. The accent is so good.
I have to give it a shot and see if I can bring this up. So I'm on my laptop, but those are the guys from South Fellini. The Legends of Philadelphia, and my main guy, Brian Bierman, does a character called Danny Dudesey, and he nails like the whole Philadelphia. Don't autoplay yet. Okay.
Nails the accent.
Yeah. Oh, this is. we just had a local election here in Philly.
Oh,
So last week he posted, "Don't forget to vote next Tuesday." And, he's telling people to go vote like a week late because his character's a big dummy. So just check out this accent. This is my boy Brian Bierman. Brian Bierman is Danny Dudesey.
This is Danny. I just want to make sure all y'all vote next Tuesday. It's really important, especially right now with all the fucking bullshit we got going on.
oh my God. It's like all the fucking bullshit we got going on. Like just no thought in anything you're saying.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday, Dr. Phil is running.
Oh my God, man.
And he's been on TV for fucking 40 years, so he should definitely win. And
He should definitely win.
I'll let this go for a couple more seconds.
Wait a second.
Taking a sip of this energy drink.
This guy, I don't know how to say his name, Mike, whatever. He's definitely going to win.
He's definitely going to do it. Definitely.
Crap. I don't usually vote for them, but he's like, he loves Trump. He's one of those Democrats that loves Trump.
I'm gonna love Donald Trump.
Next Tuesday, y'all got to hit the polls and vote Mayor Kenny out because this motherfucker is ruining this city.
Oh my God.
She just writes in Frank Rizzo for everyone. But, so.
And that's that. But
God, that's so good. That is literally, you know what? It's like, it gives me
I know many people are just like that. So.
I was just going to say, I know how many people who try to have conversations with you about politics and are like, yeah, well, it's like all this bullshit, we got to just vote Trump in because, like, he's going to make it great again. He told me, he went up on stage and, he was like, I'm going to make it great. And I believe him because, like, Obama doesn't, like, do fucking bullshit nothing.
My favorite part was, vote for Dr. Phil when it was Dr. Oz. Philadelphia. I should say Pennsylvania.
Oh my God, dude!
But like he does other funny shit. He doesn't do politics, but
that's so
that's
good.
like his most recent video.
That's so good, man.
Danny Dudesey, Brian Bierman on from Legends of Philly. They just gave me a shout out when they're podcast. So I figured I returned the favor.
I got to find the clip for next week. I think I've talked about this before, but I did a couple of episodes of Radio Bam when they were on Sirius XM, and I ran the audio boards for Ryan Dunn's very last episode of Radio Bam. It was like the last thing him and Bam did before he died. Mm-hmm. And in the middle of the show, him and Bam are talking about Tuesday, and it's just the way that he says it. Like I had it on my soundboard at the radio station when I was on WCUR. And I would fucking, Tuesday. So I'll see if I can pull that up and figure it out.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, Little Jimmy, I love the shirt, man. A couple quick things I want to just tie back real fast. Little Jimmy has the Foundation Radio shirt. It's fantastic. Make sure you pick one up. Want to give a plug to my buddy, Duke Bennett, from the Duke Loves Wrestling podcast, friend of the show. Just did an incredible interview with Booker T. You want to check that out anywhere you can find your favorite podcast. It's Duke Loves Wrestling. And go ahead and check that out. I had another question about music. You mentioned you like hip-hop. Have we ever really dove into this before? Have we talked about hip-hop before? Because I am a hip-hop head, sir. I am a fanatic.
I figured that out, but I don't think we've ever talked about it.
Who's your favorite rapper?
Of all time?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have an all-time. Well, I mean, I got respect for the Run DMCs and stuff of the world, but dude, I'm known to rock a Houdini,
impressive
Friends, Cool Modi, Sugar Hill Gang. I saw Sugar Hill Gang in concert.
Really?
I think it had maybe 2 original members or 3 original members, but
still,
yeah, me and Nova went and saw him at a nightclub in Jersey somewhere. It was fucking great.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, dude, like I grew up in a small town, Gloucester, which is like mostly like a rock and roll type town. Now I moved to Atlantic City, and we got cable, and there's BET. I start watching a lot of rap and hip hop, and it was great. Early LL Cool J, but maybe Sugar Hill Gang, because Apache was probably one of my favorite fucking jams as far as at least musically. There's a point in ECW that was going to be one of my, because we used to come out to different songs here and there, and I thought the opening to Apache would be like a fucking great fucking ring song.
Yeah, dude, for your gimmick, that would have been fucking dope.
Yeah, but luckily we found DJ Cool's "Let Me Clear My Throat," which was recorded
in Philly,
at a nightclub in Philly. There's 2 versions. My version's the good version.
Yes.
And thank God, sound guy Randy, the guy who did all the sound for ECW, he was a DJ. And we start coming out to DJ Cool's "Let Me Clear My Throat," and there's that break where he goes, "All right, for all the ladies in the house." It's like, oh, can we just cut that part out? Because like we're trying to get keep the crowd going. There's like that awkward pause, and he fixed it and sewed it up. And we used the abridged version. But I loved rap growing up. Like the old stuff though, like 80s to mid 90s maybe. I got love for Biggie. Mm-hmm. We're a big Biggie house,
Yeah. What's your favorite? What's your favorite Biggie song?
I'm trying. I'm gonna fuck it up. Biggie, can't you see?
Hypnotize.
Yeah,
with that Herb Alpert sample, man.
I was gonna say it, and I was like, no, that's System of a Down.
Well, yes, that would have still been correct.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
My favorite is off of that same record, though, off the Life After Death record. There's a track on there
music too, which is made it even better.
Well, that was all Diddy. I mean, Diddy and DJ Premier and RZA produces on that record. Like, there's a who's who of like big time producers on Life After Death. But that Herb Alpert sample is incredible.
Herb Alpert, who is the A in A&M Records, right?
That is correct. Correct. That is Herb Alpert, and also was not a fan of Biggie Smalls and those guys sampling his record. He did not. Right. He was not a fan of it, which I think is crazy because it's like, well, this guy just brought you a whole bunch of new attention that you may. I mean, I'm sure like everybody knows who Herb Alpert is, but like, I don't know, man. That record went. My favorite is "Kick in the Door." It's a diss track actually to like a whole bunch of people, including DJ Premier, who produced the song.
Nice.
You rain on the top with short like leprechauns as I crush so-called Willie's thugs and rapper dons. Oh snap! We're about to get into this shit now. We got a lot. We just lit up the podcast or the Pod Squad with this. Vanessa says "Juicy" is her favorite record, which is a classic. That's also a sample from a song called. The reason it's called "Juicy" is it's sampled from a song called "Juicy Fruit," and that's where the name came from. And then little Jimmy wants to know. Yeah. Meanie, were you able to listen to more? Were you more East Coast or West Coast rap?
That didn't matter to me. It didn't matter to me at all. Good music's good music.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the whole tribalism thing. You can't like AEW if you like WWE, and so. Yeah. So when it came to rap, good rap's good rap. Yeah. Good rock's good rock. But well, who else? I mean, the ECW was huge with hip hop, with California Love and
Natural Born Killers. Yeah.
Man. And dude, when there was a period of time where me and Stevie would come out to do something separate from Raven, we use this Ravens theme. Raven was like, "Hey, can you guys find another song? Because when they hear my music, they think I'm coming out." So when I come out the second time, the pop's kind of like not as big, right? Which makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We wasted the good surprise on you, Daddy. So like, we're just like find a random song, and for a little while we're coming out. What Would You Do by the Dog Pound.
Man,
what would you do if you did if me and my crew? I don't know all the lyrics, but that was like a theme for a little bit, and until the BWO came along, and then we started different other songs, but
Right.
BWO came along, we had the BWO theme, and then after BWO kind of winded down, we came out to DJ Cool's "Let Me Clear My Throat."
I feel like that is the perfect record for you to come out to, though. Like that is, yeah.
I used to watch MTV Raps.
Yes, and I was just gonna ask you if you knew the sample.
Yeah. I was doing the dancing gimmick, and I big fan of Ed Lover dance. I approached sound guy Randy. I was like, and that sample's 45 King.
Yes.
So I was like, I love that song. Can you get that song? And he was like, well, I don't have the song, but I have the song that samples that song. And I heard it. And I was like, it's fucking great.
Yep.
Yeah.
My dog is here with me as well. I'll bring her over in a second. She's whining at the window at somebody. So if you hear somebody barking, it's this dumb dog over here. Nice. I've loved hip hop from the time I was, and I don't know if I mentioned this on the show before, and Vanessa just brought up California Love. It's definitely, that record is a banger for sure. There's actually two versions of it.
Really?
The most famous version of it is actually, I believe, that's the original. And then the remix version is the one that ended up on All Eyes on Me, which is his Tupac's classic double record. It's a different beat. It's a lot more mellow, but it's longer. It's like 6.5 or 7 minutes. It's really long. Roger Troutman gets a whole extra part at the end of it, which, Roger and Zapp, I Want to Be Your Man, Computer Love, that guy. And he does the talk box. Friend of the show, Asher Roth, on his recent record, Flowers on a Weekend, he hit Rob Devious, who's the producer of the record. He's a Philly cat. He uses the talk box, and he played like everything, right? Like the trumpets and the fucking piano, but he's got a talk box in there. And man, when that talk box hit on there's a cut on there called In Between. When that talk box hit, man, I was like, yes, I can't believe somebody did this. This is fucking great. I fucking popped, man. I loved it. I'll have to send you that record, man, but he's great. Shout out to Asher Roth and Rob Devious. Fantastic couple of guys. Check out Flowers on the Weekend. But I remember being a kid and taking tapes, a series of cassette tapes, because we didn't have a CD player, and I would fucking mix them up, but All Eyes on Me was like my favorite record, so I would dub that onto a set of tapes, and I would just flip back and forth, and there's a great cut on there with it's Tupac, the Dog Pound, and Method Man and Redman, and that record goes hard. So good, man. Little Jimmy, Asher Roth is a fantastic guy. He's been on Foundation Radio twice. Lots of love to him. I get the chance to catch up with him every chance I get. Also a Philly cat, so Meanie and I are here to support all of the Philly cats. So, Meanie,
dude, I was old enough, back in the day, I would put my boombox up to the TV to record songs off of MTV and BET. That's how I would get my songs.
I mentioned
that was my Napster.
How many computers I destroyed with Napster, man. I remember when Methods of Mayhem came out. That was Tommy Lee's like rap group, whatever that was, that rap metal madness. And he did that record called Get Naked with Lil' Kim and Fred Durst and George Clinton. And I remember I couldn't find it anywhere because the CD wasn't out. So I had to hold it up to the box. I had to hold up my tape player because the tape player had a recorder on the front. And I could record it on there, and I could listen to it, but you could hear like the dog barking and my mom yelling at us in the background. So it's like these fucking headphones on it were just this shitty, overdubbed, terrible record. Man, dude, I could talk hip hop all day, man.
I could music all day.
I don't know, man. I found myself having a hard time, I guess, as I get older, like getting into more of the newer hip hop. There's a couple of records that I really enjoy. Like there's a new guy named G-Eazy who I just recently kind of like stumbled on again. Really like his stuff. Who else? Obviously Kendrick Lamar is fucking fantastic. He just put a new record out that's like really heating up the charts. But a lot of these guys, I'm just like, it misses me, and maybe, do you feel like that sometimes? Like as rock music or rap music comes up, it's just, you hear it and you're like, this isn't for me.
What's the new band that, the band I could totally do without is Greta Van Fleet.
Sam would appreciate that.
Dude, it's like, they're not bad. They're great musicians, but, you put out a record Okay, and then you sound like Led Zeppelin, and then like that, whatever. I've heard one song off the new record. It's like, okay, so now you're Rush because you're doing the Geddy Lee vocals. It's like, oh my god, they're not bad. Somebody must like them. It's like back in the day, I couldn't stand Wolf Mother.
Oh yeah.
That was another band. I mean, their whole thing was sounding like Black Sabbath. You know.
Now Wolf Mother. Are they Joker and the Thief in the Night? Is that the one? Tell you about the Joker and the Thief in the Night. Is that Wolf Mother?
Yeah. There's a great video of who's the singer? Faith No More Patton.
Yeah.
Here's a video of him at some festival, and Wolf Mother's playing in the background at the same festival, and he goes around, goes, "Wolf Mother stinks." While they're playing, and he's listening, he's realizing he's listening to Wolf Mother. He's like, they are so bad. And it just, he starts shooting all over him. I was like, that's why I love this man.
Yeah.
That's why I love him more, you know? But,
yeah, I never was a fan of, I just felt like it just feels like some of the bands recently, more the rock bands, are just like carbon copies of
there's a guy,
older stuff, you know?
There's a band that's new, that's actually pretty good called Dirty Honey. So if I'm going to bury a new band, let me put a new one over. Dirty Honey. MMR plays them a lot.
Oh, really?
Shout out to my boy Brent Porsche. He's always playing songs for me.
And shout out to Preston and Steve, just because.
Yeah, I mean they're survivors. They're fighters. You know?
Oh, so
been on this long for a reason.
Dirty Honey is the name of the group.
Dirty Honey's really good. They have a retro sound, but it doesn't sound like they're trying to be somebody else. They were just touring with Wolfgang WVH or Mammoth WVH, Wolfgang Van Halen's band,
right?
Called the Young Guns Tour, and yeah, they're really good. They're really good. For the songs I've heard, I really liked. Yeah,
I was just thinking about Volbeat for some reason. I remember being in Bam's which car was I don't remember. I think it was the Porsche, and he's like, "Hey, you ever heard this band?" I'm like, "What is he?" He's like, "Volbeat." Oh, dude, you gotta check it out. You gotta check out Volbeat. And I'm like, all right, I never heard him. You know, when he fucking cranks it up, and it's the Mirror and the Ripper. What's the name of that? I just had it up here. Beyond Hell, Above Heaven. And he had access to all that music before it was like, cause he would get advanced copies. Cause I don't know if he was still doing the record stuff or whatever, like the record label shit. But because he was on Sirius, they would send him all kinds of advanced copies so he could play it on the show. And Volbeat was somebody that got stuck on. And I'd heard this record before it was released, and then all of a sudden, a couple months later, I'm hearing it on MMR, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this record fucking bangs. And they're like, how do you know what this is? And I'm like, oh, heard it early. But now Volbeat was one of the few that I heard that I really enjoyed, like when I first listened to them. And then he would play shit like Hollywood Undead, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is like...
I haven't heard them yet, but...
It's it's almost like, imagine ICP and Slipknot had a love child. But without like the heaviness of Slipknot, it's just like the masks and the weird shit. I was like, nah, hard pass, dude. Hard pass. Pod Squad, suggest some music for Meanie and I to listen to before next week. I would love to do that. That'd be fun to do some like new music. Just like have Meanie blindly listen to music and just be like, what's your take on this? But but speaking of your take on things, Meanie, are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to. It's time to ask Meanie anything. Ask me something.
Don't forget, tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie at Mind of the Meanie, Blue Meanie BWO. This is Goober. Little Jimmy, before we get into this, wants us to drop a track, and this is the only track you need from us right here. The fart track. That's the only track you need right there. Shout out to friend of the show and engineer, Carl Pinnell, for making an incredible fart track.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's so good. All right, looks like Mark and Dryden's got a question here. Let me ask Meanie, I don't know if this ever got answered, but post-Montreal Screwjob, did you think that the future was bleak for the WWF at the time?
Nah. Just, nah, I never really looked. The only time I thought wrestling was futures would, okay, first day with the new mouth. The only time I thought wrestling's future was bleak was during the steroid trials.
Mm.
And, WWE was starting to run like high school gyms again and stuff like that. And, barely selling those out. And then, you get to work there and you talk to people who worked there during that period of time and how bleak it was. But it felt bleak, when it felt like WWE was, possibly going to go under with the federal government going on after them. And I know, WWE is not the only wrestling game in town, but back then they were, then and now, they are the game in town, because you say to a casual person, I like wrestling. They go, oh, that WWE stuff. They're a part of the American lexicon, a worldwide lexicon, so to speak. So yeah, the only time, when that happened, the only time I thought, the wrestling's future was bleak was during the steroid trials.
I forgot that they were running high school gyms after that. I forgot that.
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad. I've seen photos and you see footage, and it's like, because from what they were with, running, between all the WrestleMania, doing WrestleMania 3 in stadiums and running Trump Plaza all those years and that stuff. And then
imagine
WrestleMania in the Hoosier Dome. So then to go from that to, high school gyms and, I was told they ran a place in San Francisco and it was like a union building. The cost to pay the union workers cost more than what they drew at the gate.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy, bad times financially.
Could you imagine? Imagine if the steroid trial happened as the NWO was becoming a thing, man. They would have fucking got crushed. That would have really been the end of it. Let's see. Ivan Rivers wants to know, hey, Meanie, what's your favorite? It's a music question. This is a good one. I like these. What is your favorite all-time country song? I think our friend Ivan here is from the other side of the pond because he spelled favorite with a U. So, what is your all-time favorite country song?
That's a good question. Because I'm not a huge country fan. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like country. But it depends on my mood. I'll say this. There's a song I play because it was my grandmom's favorite song. It reminds me of her, and I get a little misty-eyed. Hank Williams' Tear in My Beer, which my grandmom loved Hank Williams, and I still have some of her cassette tapes, just, for sentimental reasons and stuff like that, because she would listen to, country music here and there. And I'll give a shit, put my grandmother over, Tear in My Beer from Hank Williams.
My favorite country song is Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Not a big country guy, but you throw that fucking record on, you're going to get some fucking wild shit out of me, man.
Yeah, I like country. I like, rock and roll type country. I don't know if Dave Alvin would be considered country, but Dave Alvin's really good. Go out and find Dave Alvin's song 4th of July. That's a really good song.
You know what's crazy when I think about Hank Williams? Hank Williams III. Do you know who he rolls with? He rolls with the Murder Junkies. Gigi Allen's band. Are you familiar with Gigi Allen?
Yeah.
Bite It, You Scum. He fucking plays with those guys. Like, what? What?
Yeah, he's more of a punk rock guy.
Yeah, which is cool, but it's just like Hank Williams III rolling with the Murder Junkies. This is a match made in hell. If y'all go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was just saying about Gigi Allen. I'm sure you watched the Todd Phillips documentary, right? That's probably something that's up your alley. The Gigi Allen one.
Talked about
we talked about this one. Yeah, Chad from CKY. Yeah. Never again, friends. No, thank you.
I'm good.
Yeah, hard pass.
I stayed at the Travelodge in South Philly, so that's me saying that.
No,
I'm good.
No way. Little Jimmy's got a good question for us here. It's on everybody's minds right now. What do you think about Ric Flair's last match at StarCast?
I wish you wouldn't, but hey, man, there's things I like to do that people probably would, go, man, what are you doing that for? But I'm not going to deny the man the chance, I'm not going to shit on the man's chance to have one more match. Would I advise against it? Yeah. My last memory of Flair was Flair versus Shawn. I know he's had matches since then, and to me, they don't exist because A, I didn't watch that company, and B, that last match meant so much, between him and Shawn. I'm sorry, I love you, and you can see him visibly weeping as he's getting pinned. And then the next night on Raw and leave the memories alone and all that stuff. Yeah, I understand it, but I wish you wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would. I'm conflicted on this, right? Because I don't know what physical state he's in, and I'm not sure if anybody does, but it's also like, bro, if Ric Flair wants to wrestle, like, who's going to stop this guy? If he's not going to do it, if he's not going to do it at StarCast, he's going to do it somewhere else. And I think there definitely is an aspect of letting folks, especially like people in the wrestling industry, do their last match with dignity. Like Sting. I feel like Sting, in a lot of respects for, issues I have with both WWE and AEW, I definitely think WWE missed the ball with Sting doing the cinematic match with The Undertaker. And, I really feel like they didn't allow the man to have his final say, after the Seth Rollins buckle bomb and all that shit. And then he's good to do these cinematic matches, and they didn't do it. So I definitely think he's absolutely ending his career on the terms that he wants to, which is fantastic, and he's still out there. He just jumped through a fucking table off a fucking balcony. Dude's 62, 63 years old. Yeah. So I definitely think there's an element there of letting people, finalize their life or their careers with dignity, but it's certainly not for, I'm not going to be the guy to be like, no, Ric Flair shouldn't fucking do this. This is insane. I'm not in the industry, like that's not my business. But Meanie.
Yes.
Where can everyone find you on social media?
Down on the corner, out in the streets, pocket rockers. I'm showing my age with that commercial. If you would like to follow me, go to on all forms of social media. Again, first day with the new mouth. If you would like to follow me on all forms of social media, go to twitter.com, facebook.com, Instagram.com, and TikTok, which I kind of haven't figured out yet. Go to @Blue Meanie BWO. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Blue Meanie and /Mind the Meanie. If you would like a birthday wish, a well wish, a graduation, whatever, or just bullshit when you go to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. And if you want to look and smell good like the Blue Meanie with my beard, go to madcatbeardcare.com. They're doing great things. And all the money goes to taking care of the kitty cats. I don't draw a dime from it. I'm just trying to, help the cats. So go to madcatbeardcare.com. Josh is doing a fantastic job over there. He's doing random polls, battle of the beard care products and stuff like that. So, give them a follow on Instagram as well, on all social medias, as well as madcatbeardcare.com. And for you, Mr. Barnard, where can we find you?
Oh, thank you, sir. You can find me on the floor later because I'll be coughing my ass off from COVID-19. No, I'm just kidding. You can find me on socials, Facebook. No, not Facebook. Twitter and Instagram. This is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. Yes, I'm keeping it. It's a brand, pal. You can also follow my show, Foundation Radio, at twitter.com/FND Radio Pod. Find me there. You can go to prowrestlingtees.com/Foundation Radio, pick up a shirt, and support the show. Go to prowrestlingtees.com/mind of the meanie. Pick yourself up a shirt right now to support this program. And also go to patreon.com/mind of the meanie. Sign up early. Watch us and our beautiful faces. Record the show every week. Blue Meanie, it is a pleasure, as always, to see you, sir. Thank you. For the Blue Meanie, I'm Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind of the meanie. Peace. Do we need a fart noise in there?
Blue world order.
It's the shits.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
Blue world order.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie was recorded and produced by Adam Barnard and was engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional production and narration provided by Sam Krebs. Our executive producers are Josh Chernoff, Adam Barnard, and the Blue Meanie. Our opening theme is performed by the Swamp Candles. Our closing theme is performed by Chikara. The show contains original music produced by Enrichment. Get additional bonus content by becoming our patron on Patreon at patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Mind of the Meanie. This has been a Butts Carlton media production in conjunction with the MLW Radio Network. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue world order.
Dad, why does Blue Meanie's brain out?
The world of MLW Radio never stops.